Here already first, look at one small island, then we're going to come back, get behind Vina, look at those homes. There's also a bridge, the Bayway Bridge that leads to St. Pete Beach. We call that the Cathedral Bridge. We drive underneath of that. I'm sure you guys remember that. We drive underneath that bridge at nighttime. Really good opportunity for everybody to get some good pictures. Then we'll go to the Gulf to watch the sunset right at the mountain. So that's my plan tonight. Pretty simple, pretty easy.
We like that. Simple and easy.
Yeah, I try to keep it pretty chillaxed. So since you guys are a private group, you guys, I would love
like
your
the
church.
song, we'll just go like
We saw
that.
church, we saw Brown, so we're all
We
with
saw
it.
I just saw Luke
Kenny.
Combs with my girlfriend.
Oh, I would see
last
him.
year.
Was he good? I've never seen him.
So good live. I mean, like, really good, really good.
All right, let's start with when
that
it
man
rains
was
and pours.
amazing.
Let's start with when it rains and pours.
Got it. I love Luke Combs. That was probably my favorite concert I've been to. And I've seen Morgan Wallen live and seen Kane Brown live. Yeah, Luke Combs. I highly recommend if you guys get the opportunity, go check him out.
Oh,
Right off the mountain.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's nice. They're cute. They were close too, man. They were 20 feet out. Off the shore.
Wow.
We're gonna see some dolphins.
Pretty nice.
Oh, that's good to know.
All right.
See
There's one right there. There's one.
Oh, there's 3 of them. What's the third one?
Yeah, that's where the pelicans are all hanging out.
Bird tea. This is what we call a mangrove tree. All right, the mangrove trees are what, if you look at our coastlines right now, everything to our right, it's this large bush-like structured tree. They surround our coastlines all over Florida, as a matter of fact. Now, these trees are probably the most protected piece of life in Florida outside of a manatee. And the reason for that is because, like I said, they're growing in the water only. So those roots are actually giving off roughly around 80+% of the oxygen in the water that the fish need to survive and breathe with. And they also filter out a ton of bacteria in the water as well. We're at a pretty high tide right now. I'm almost at like a 1.7. At the bottom of these trees, there's a company called, or not a company, but an organization that's called Tampa Bay Watch, and they do a lot of restoration projects within the area for our ecosystems, try to keep it maintained and nice and healthy. They're planting on the bottom of all these mangroves in the area what are called oyster balls, and these oyster mounds basically filter about 150 gallons of water a day, and it filters that bacteria in the clean oxygen in the water. Now, if you go to a marina and you walk around the docks, you'll probably see a lot of lines, or maybe a couple here and there, that are hanging in the water with oysters all over them. And it looks trashy, but those oysters on that line are actually doing the same thing. All dead oysters do that. They filter out water and filter out the bacteria and turn it into oxygen.
But they're dead oysters.
Dead oysters. So you'll notice, if you ever go to a restaurant, a lot of the waiters, waitresses, they'll take your plate if you get oysters. They'll take that plate with all those dead clams or dead oyster shells, and they'll take them to the back kitchen and they put them in a certain container. And there's companies that will come and grab those.
And put them back in the water.
Put 'em
So
back in the
those,
water.
the shells themselves just filter.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why the oyster beds never get touched. They're very sharp. Like the oyster beds on seawalls or bridge lines, you'll notice they're like really clunky and they look messy.
But they matter.
They matter. So that's why nobody ever touches them for the most part. Now, if you have a boat, a little bit different. If they're growing on the bottom of your boat,
Right.
you got to get them. You got to
Scraping
get
them
them out, or they're going to ruin the performance of your boat.
So restaurants and stuff like that, they will take all those oysters and they recycle them back
They
into
will
the water.
recycle them, and there are companies that will pay the restaurant to keep them,
Wow.
and they'll come and get them off them. And
Where does all that money come from? Obviously the government, right?
There's a lot of birds.
They're efficient.
you know, a lot of people ask if I like a marine biology major. Criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
My mom was an FBI agent